Welcome back to TV5 News at 9. Kidneys for Kids is hitting the road again. Joining us this morning to tell us more, we have Brian Martindale. Brian, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me this morning.
Of course. So just to get started, we've reported on your story before, of course, but for those who don't know, tell us a little bit about Kidneys for Kids.
Well, Kidneys for Kids, we founded Kidneys for Kids in 2022 to advocate nationally for children who need kidney transplants, as well as providing financial assistance to families for costs of their child's treatment not covered by insurance. So in 2022, I started formally a national trip we call now Driving for Life. So I'll begin the 2024 trip on Monday. The idea of this trip is I travel to major cities, this year 23 cities in 22 states.
Wow.
And we carry out a TV interview in those cities with a family with a child who needs a kidney transplant in order to get exposure for them and their story told, and hopefully recruit a living kidney donor for that child. On the average, we have to reach 50,000 people to find one living kidney donor, whether it be for an adult or a child. So doing this trip and advocating this manner last year has produced a total, in the last 15 months, has produced a total of 11 different kidney donors for 11 different children. And our goal is 100 different kidney donors for 100 different kids.
That's awesome. And you're raising awareness for more donors throughout that as well. The tour you mentioned on the West Coast begins in June. The East Coast tour begins in July. What are some of the major cities we can expect you to hit?
I'm hitting on this leg the end of next week, Denver, Colorado, and then to Los Angeles, San Diego, Phoenix, Houston, back up to St. Louis, Indianapolis, finishing in Chicago, and then in July we go all the way down to Florida, to Tampa, back up the East Coast, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, and then finishing in New York City with what we hope is a major interview.
So exciting. Brian, that is awesome. And you'll be driving the Garber Chevrolet Equinox. We have a live look at that right now. Take a look at that. Brian, you've been doing these trips for years now. What would you say has been your biggest takeaway so far? My
biggest takeaway is meeting families, parents with a child going through a fight with kidney disease. Some of these children are as young as 2. And adults can't fathom sometimes that their full-size kidney can be donated to a child as young as 2 and save their life. And I've seen what parents go through having children with dialysis at home, having to have dialysis 10 hours a day, 7 nights a week. And, you know, one parent sleeping while one parent's attending to the child. Right. And this is a, 365-day a year mission that they have to save their child's life until transplant. So the biggest takeaway is seeing adults come forward like they have, and saving these children's lives and realizing they can live a healthy life like I do with one kidney, and like I say, save a life.
Well, as you mentioned to me before we got started, testing yourself to see if you're a match has really never been easier. You brought some of those kits to show us.
Yes.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, we're working now with Kidneys for Communities. Kidneys for Communities is based in Ohio, and they help do the matching for adults and children, cross-matching to find out if an adult, in this case, is viable to donate to a child. And now it's as easy as us sending you a HLA testing kit, which is a swab kit, like it's used for bone marrow testing. You can just as easily swab now, and we can do the initial matching without any obligation and under autonomy until you decide to become a living kidney donor. But it's easy as just registering through kidneysforkids.org or kidneysforcommunities.org, and we'll do the initial cross-matching and get you this kit right away, and you can save a child's life. Even if you live here, you saw a story coming out of Los Angeles, you can donate in a paired donation, receive a voucher, give that voucher to the family you want to help for that child, and that child will receive the next kidney that matches them wherever they're at.
What other ways can people show their support for Kidneys for Kids?
Well, the Driving for Life mission, we need sponsorship, of course. You can see sponsors on the Garber Chevrolet that Mr. Garber, again, was kind enough to provide for Kidneys for Kids this year. But we've got room for more sponsors, and sponsors are getting exposure nationally. This vehicle will appear in a lot of the TV interviews we'll be doing.
Right.
And then again, back here in Michigan, I'll be driving it the rest of the year. So local sponsors will get exposure. can see we have the hood open and many
Yep.
other areas that aren't decorated by our main sponsors. We got to give big thanks to Bubba and Tri-City Cycles again this year for their sponsorship, the International Painters Union, of which I'm a member of, and my union brothers and sisters are watching. Please, you can donate at kidneysforkids.org, a tax-deductible donation, and it's sending this trip across the United States to save children's lives.
Well, that car is all decked out, but yeah, definitely some room on that car for more sponsors as well.
Absolutely.
Well, Brian, thank you again so much for being here and telling us more about Kidneys for Kids. If you would like to learn more, you can find more information in the hot links section of our website. Just visit WNEM.com.